This is one of those moments that traders dream of. And I'm not talking about purely monetary goals here, guys. What I'm talking about mostly is the ability to prove to yourself that you can actually stick to your framework and achieve your goals in a very systematic way of doing it. If you stick with me to the end, I promise you that even if you're a beginner or experienced trader, you would both find unique points. For the beginner trader, this will be the motivational parts of the video. For the experienced trader, this will be the tactical steps that I have taken in order to reach to over 50 X's in one of the trades and over 30 X's in the other trade. So let's have a look at those trades first, and then I would explore some of the tactical moves that help me to reach those levels. First things first, guys, this is a Nasdaq trade which I took yesterday during the US Open, and currently this trade is giving me just over 30 X's, 1 to 31 risk to reward ratio. And here is where I took the trade. This was a trade just after the US Open, and this is where I shorted Nasdaq. This is my original stop loss, and I will show you in Discord the exact time where I took this, so you can actually make sure that this is a real trade, because a lot of traders, they don't really think that these are real trades. They think that these are hindsight trades. So I will share with you the Discord times where this trade was taken, and also the other trade. So currently this is a 1 to 31 risk to reward ratio trade. And here, guys, is the second trade. This was Dow Jones trade, which I've taken here a few days ago. This was actually a trade that I carried over the weekend. And originally, as you can see here, the red rectangle is my stop loss. I would also show you this trade in Discord. I've currently moved my stop loss to lock 15 X's. And at the moment, excuse me, this trade is giving me just shy of 56 or 1 to 56 risk to reward ratio. I have locked 15 X's, but it looks good for now, so I potentially might be able to squeeze more X's from this trade. It is still floating. I haven't really closed the trade yet. And here is the proof, guys. This is where I took this trade on Dow, and this was the 29th of October at 16 minutes after the US Open. So you can see here, the stop loss was 32 points. I opened the trade at 47,993. Stop loss is at 48,025. And let's have a look at the other trades, the Nasdaq trade now. Alrighty, guys, so this was yesterday, the 3rd of November, and this was 18 minutes after the US Open at 2:48 London time. And considering there was a time change over the weekend, so this is where I took this trade. And as you can see, this was taken at 26,064, and the stop loss was at 26,081. So all in all, around 17 points stop loss. And fast forward to today, we are over 30 X's in profit so far. Now I wanted to share with you guys what made me actually hold this trade for such a long period of time and bank so many X's. So if we look at it from the starting point of view, you have no idea of where a trade will take you, and we don't have a crystal ball, but there are certain indications and hacks we can use in order to get into more profitable trades and squeeze more X's out of a trade if we are really listening close to the market behavior, as I explained here in the trading room. So this was literally one day after taking the 50 and currently actually it's over 60 X's at the time I'm making this video. I took this trade on the 29th of October, and this is something I wrote on the 30th of October, and these were my thoughts really. So what I meant by that is that, let me actually quickly explain. So for the ones of you that have followed my VIP Masterclass Trader series and Advanced Protocol, this will probably make a lot more sense, but I'll explain for the rest of you who haven't had a chance to go through those courses and practices. So the reasoning why I led this trade is that I was actually leaning on more bearish on this one was, of course, that anything can prove me wrong as with anything in life and in trading, I have no, stronger powers over anyone else in the market to decide, but I can only analyze things from my point of view, and this is the only thing I can do differently from potentially the other market participants. And this always helps me to, you know find a better trading edge. So in this case, the edge came after I entered the trade. So what I mean by that? So once I was already in a profitable trade, I noticed two daily reactions, and these were rejections that were forming on the daily chart. And this was key because those rejections didn't happen before my entry. They only appeared after I was in a profitable trade. And I didn't expect them to happen. I only spotted them after I was in a profitable trade. And this is a very clear distinction I'm making right now. So this is when I started looking at the higher time frames, not before, guys. So now some of you might think that I'm probably biased, and maybe that's true, but from a broader perspective, this setup still points to more downside potential. At the time of analyzing it, which was one day later, this was looking very bearish, a lot more bearish than from the time I was entering in the trade. And this is exactly what made me hold on to this trade. Not the ability to predict the market direction at the time of taking the trade, but the ability to analyze the trade from the perspective of already being in a profitable trade and already having more information to work with. And this is exactly what happened. So if we were to summarize what happened with this trade, was basically take a trade. This is step number 1, guys. Then it will be step number 2. See how the market reacts to this trade. Then it will be step number 3. Analyze the trade. Then it will be step number 4. Make a decision. And then it would be step number 5, which is gather more data. So if we are to basically put this into perspective, this is the loop that I'm following based on this trade, and based on all of the profitable, like very profitable trades I've been taking. So we are not talking about just a simple trade that gives you 10x's. This is a more complicated process, so we are following those steps. Take a trade. Once you take a trade, you're basically seeing the market and how it reacts to the trade, and then you're analyzing it because you have already gathered more data. Then at the step, you're actually making a decision, and again, you're gathering more data. This creates a loop, and then you're basically closing the cycle by deciding of the final step, deciding on closing the trade. And this whole cycle might actually take from hours, but in most cases, for the very profitable trades, it can take up to days. So I've taken this trade on the 29th. Today, at the time of I'm recording this video, it is the 4th of November, and as you can see, this takes quite some time. So just almost a week for following this loop, and I still haven't closed the trade yet. So from this video, guys, you can see that trading is a process. It's not a single point of conflict. You're taking a trade and then you are closing the trade. It takes a lot of years of experience and a framework that you can actually fit all of this into. Then once you're in a profitable trade, as I explained in this video, you need to gather more data, reanalyze the trade, then potentially wait for the trade to pick up more buyers or sellers, depending on if you're in a buy, in a long or a short trade. And then this creates a loop which feeds up your initial decision with more data, and then based on your trading strategy, you can actually get and make a better decision and a better final outcome overall. So I hope this video has been helpful, and most likely this will be slightly more advanced video for the more experienced trader, but I'm sure that the beginner traders will find it very motivational based on the results of those two trades. Either way, guys, I'm happy to share anything with you. Just, ask me your questions in the comment section below, and I'm happy to answer all of your questions. Until next time, guys.